What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Orange County, you guys. This is going to be season 18, episode number 5. This episode was titled Dinner Party Disaster. Now, before we do get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, shall we? All right, you guys. So in the comment section, I want you guys to keep comments in alive. Get down there, tell me what you guys thought about this episode overall. For me, another good episode. There were some scenes in here I was like, "Oh, y'all trying it." And if y'all been watching me in these reviews for the last 5 episodes, y'all know just who I'm talking about. But let's go ahead and start. So we're gonna start this episode up with the people who gave very little in this episode. So the first person that I feel personally gave very little is a toss up between Emily and Heather. But I guess we'll start up with Emily real quick because I ain't really got a whole lot of notes for Emily's scene. Now, Emily and Shane are celebrating 15 years of marriage. I guess their anniversary was Valentine's Day. And again, celebrating 15 years of marriage. Now, if you guys have been watching Orange County for any length of time and you guys have saw the relationship between Shane and Emily, I'm surprised that they still together, to be quite honest with you, because there were some seasons where it just felt like Shane did not like Emily. But then that was also because, I also felt like he resented Emily because he couldn't pass the bar exam and she had. But hey, they've made it to 15 years. Congratulations to the both of them. She sat down with him and she asked him some questions. I didn't really care to take those questions down that she was asking him, but it was like, does she have any, I guess, annoying quirks and things of that nature? Because he's like, she takes her eyelashes off and leaves them all over the house. And, stuff of that nature, right? Pretty boring. Now, he did upgrade her engagement ring. It was a nice ring, by the way. Very nice. And then she gave him the photo. You guys remember she did that photo shoot, the boudoir photo shoot. And so she presented him with the pictures for that. And that was literally everything that we had in this scene with Shane and Emily. Again, nothing. Nothing sauce, right? Now, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the next person who I feel didn't give me anything in this episode, and that will be Miss Fancy Pants herself. Here's the thing: we're gonna talk about Heather real. We're gonna talk about her. So we see her as she is sitting down with Terry, and she was talking to Terry about the situation with Katie, right? And like I've said plenty of times, I do like Katie. I think Katie is a great addition to the show. What I will say is going back and rewatching last week's episode and seeing that text message, it didn't really prove that she actually did call the paparazzi. It just shows that you asked someone, did she call? And that person confirmed yes. But it doesn't necessarily say, oh my God, Heather called the paparazzi. Now, does anybody believe that Heather did not call the paparazzi? No. So she's telling Terry that she's going to be having high tea with Gina and Jen, right? So when Gina got there and Jen, they came right behind each other, right? Here's my thing with Heather, girl. Here's the thing with Heather, right? A hit dog will holler because if you didn't call the paparazzi, then just say I didn't call the paparazzi. But you're making a whole scene about it. And it makes me believe you called the paparazzi, but I already believed you called the paparazzi because those photos were very much so staged. So I definitely do think that Heather called the paparazzi, but it just feels like she's very defensive for no reason. It just really feels that way. Because if you know you didn't do something, then you know you didn't do it, and you don't have to sit there and argue people down, be like, oh my God, I didn't like, because I feel like the people who are the most, when you're so defensive about something, it's because you have something to hide or that you're lying about. Now, she wasn't too happy with Gina because she feels like Gina allowed Katie to put that information out there. And I was like, I beg to differ. Katie's a grown woman. Gina's a grown woman. Only thing Gina could do would be to say to Katie, like, yo, Katie, I don't think that's right. I don't think you should put that out there about Heather. But again, she's a grown woman. So she's going to do whatever it is that she wants to do. So no matter what Gina said or had done, she was going to say what she wanted to say and do what she wanted to do, right? So Gina apologizes to Heather, and Heather asks Gina, like, how long did you know about this? And Gina says, well, she found it out in December. She also, I mean, she literally threw Katie under the bus because she was like, well, I don't really know Katie that well. I've only known Katie for a few months, and I met her through Sutton. And it's like, well, damn, girl. I mean, I get it. You did meet her through Sutton. You ain't known her that long, but damn, you throwing her under the bus to be under in the good graces of Heather. It's very weird to me, right? It's when it comes to Gina and her relationship with Heather, it's very much so a kiss ass relationship. Like that's all I ever see when it comes to that. It's just a kiss ass, like very kiss ass. But you guys tell me what you guys think about that down in the comments section, you guys. And we'll move on to the next person in this episode. I guess since we're talking about her, let's go ahead and bring her up. Katie. So we see Katie. So Katie is talking to Shannon, right? She's gotten close to Shannon. She likes Shannon, right? So Shannon is going over to her home, and they talked about the day before. So I'm assuming that they filmed this the day after the golf event, right? So Katie was talking about the fact that she didn't invite Alexis because she just wanted Shannon to have a good day, and I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that because I mean, if you look at it, anytime Alexis is around, she wants to have a moment with Shannon, and it makes Alexis is really coming off super duper thirsty with this whole situation between Shannon and Johnny J, as she calls him, right? Like it just looks ridiculous, in my personal opinion. So Shannon was talking about the golf event, right? And then she and Tamara did talk to each other, but she wants to just really sit down and talk to Tamara because Tamara has been talking about Shannon behind her back, and she absolutely has been talking about her behind her back. Now, let me say this real quick about Tamara. Despite how I feel about Tamara, not the biggest fan of Tamara, can't stand Tamara, right? But for this show, she unfortunately Tamara is good with getting the mess started, right? Tamara is the charade of OC, and she's a friend to nobody. Like she's a friend to not a soul. Like I agree with Vicki. It's gonna come up later in the episode, but I agree with Vicki when she was talking about that Tamara was absolutely 100% right to be on Traders because she is a trader. Although she was a faithful on the Traders. If you guys did not watch season 2 of the Traders USA on Peacock, go check it out. Really good season. So where are we at? But yes, Shannon is saying that she needs to talk to Tamara because Tamara has been talking behind her back, right? So then Shannon is also telling Katie when it comes down to um, Heather that she's very sensitive, and true enough. But like I said a few minutes ago, when it comes to Heather, the problem that I have with Heather is if this is not something that you didn't like, if you didn't do this, I don't understand why you are taking it to heart and getting so defensive about it. Like, it makes me think that you're lying and you're just trying to save face. For what reason, I don't know, but it is what it is, right? Now, Katie shows Shannon the text message that said that, she called the paparazzi. Like I said a few minutes ago as well. This text message doesn't really definitively prove that she called the paparazzi. It just, I mean, yeah, this guy can know people, but it doesn't 100% prove it that she called, unless you got phone records, text message that she actually reached out to the paparazzi. Then this isn't the nail in the coffin, so to speak, right? But again, like I said, I honestly don't understand why baby girl is getting so bent out of shape about this. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll move on to the next person. So who do we want to talk about next? I guess we'll go ahead and talk about Shannon. So we see Shannon. So Shannon is meeting her dad for lunch, right? And Shannon says, and I'm not laughing at this, but I'm not laughing at this. It's just, it's. I'm thinking about Shannon in that video of her driving that car. Shannon is lucky that she did not hurt herself or someone else. I will say that. So, because of that, Shannon now has to install a breathalyzer in her car as part of her punishment. And I'm like, well, I mean, you did it to yourself, Shannon. I love you down, girl, but you did it to yourself. Which that has to be embarrassing, but I mean, you won't learn unless you go through something, right? So to have to get in your car I'm pretty sure before she even starts her car up, she has to take a breathalyzer, and it has to be, you know, below the limit. Well, actually, hell, it can't even be below the limit. She can't even have a drop of alcohol and drive a car. Like, that's the thing. You shouldn't drink and drive. So but I know that has to be the most embarrassing thing, but hopefully Shannon has learned a lesson, right? We'll talk about Shannon and her drinking as it comes up later in the episode. So she's also telling her dad that with John, he's asking her for the $70,000 back, right? Or else he'll file a lawsuit against her. And Shannon's dad is telling her that she should fight it, and I absolutely agree with her dad. We're gonna talk about it more because Alexis is gonna talk about it as if she knows everything. Like, I am so over Alexis. She is irritating as hell. Like, I hope that this is the last time we see Alexis Jesus Jugs on OC, because this return has not been a good return, because this this season should have been the girls talking about Shannon and her drinking issues, but instead we are talking. There is one person who's talking about Shannon's drinking potential issues, but everybody else is defending Shannon against Alexis, and it's interesting to me. But that's all we got for Shannon, and we will go ahead and move on to the most treacherous one of them all, Tamara. Tamara. Again, good for the show, but not a friend to anybody, right? So we see not Shannon, but Tamara and Emily, they're out for a walk. Now I got this, I still have the same question that I've been having for the last few episodes when it comes to Emily, because they were talking about the golf event, and I think it was some sunglasses that Emily had, right? And she made a joke about giving them to Jen. And they're both sitting here talking about Jen, and I don't understand for the life of me what the beef is with Jen and with Emily, because Emily is always taking a cheap jab and a dig at Jen. And I'm like, girl, what is it? You can't sit there and say in your interview that it's just because you don't have. Essentially, what she's trying to say is she has no respect for women who rely on men or anybody else to take care of them. Mama, that ain't got nothing to do with you. If that's how she chooses to live her life, that is how she chooses to live her life. You have no say so. Like you can judge her, you can do whatever, but what is it going to accomplish? Because she's still going to be that same person who is dependent on other people to take care of her. I mean, she is living with Ryan, and then Tamara's like, well, I'm pretty sure he paid for the trip to Vegas. Tamara, what the hell I got to do with you? Like, that's the other thing with Tamara. Tamara is, like I said earlier, she is a friend to absolutely not a soul on this show. So then they talk about Gina and Heather's friendship. Now, I do agree with Emily, because Emily says that when it comes down to her and Gina, if Gina needs to call her out, she will, because that's a real friendship. Now, I don't know about, Heather and Gina if that's a quote unquote real friendship, because it to me it looking from the outside in, it doesn't look like a real friendship. Because I remember when Heather came back and Gina was all up Heather's ass. I still think that that's what it is. I still think that Gina is still firmly planted up Heather's behind. You guys let me know what you feel. But Emily feels that Gina walks on eggshells with Heather. Absolutely 100% agree with that. She does. So then in another scene with Tamra, we see her meeting up with Alexis. And I'm like, girl, this is just interesting, because you were never friends with Alexis. But okay. So they talk about the golf event. Alexis feel a way that she wasn't invited to the golf event. And she's like, well, why come Katie didn't invite me? I'm fun. I'm fun. In her interview, it's like, Mama, you're obsessed. Like, you are obsessed with Shannon. And I don't, for the life of me, get why. It feels like Johnny J has put a little battery in your back. And here's my thing for you, Alexis. So the same shit that he's doing to Shannon right about now, you don't think that maybe you don't think that maybe he would do the same thing to you if you guys break up? Like, please make me understand like where this logic is coming from, because I can't understand it. How are you doing, Dre G? It's, you say, been a long time. I don't even watch Housewives right now. It's the out of seasons for me. If it's not Beverly Hills, Potomac, maybe RHOA, I'm out. Really? I will say the only one on that list that you said that I think I'm firmly out on is Potomac. After last season, I just don't know that I want to go back to Potomac. I really don't. But I'm right there with you when it comes to Beverly Hills and Atlanta. Those are my cities. Love those two. And even Miami. But but I appreciate you for coming through and leaving a comment. I appreciate you. So, Alexis, girl, like I said, you look very thirsty. And like I said a minute ago, the same stuff that John is doing to Shannon, why don't you think that if y'all break up, he would do the same thing to you? Like, that's not making any sense to me. But hey, it is what it is. She wants to sit here and defend him, talking about she got receipts. And if Shannon wants to say something, she'll pull out the receipts. So then Shannon, I'm not Shannon, but Tamara is sitting over here talking about Shannon and her drinking. Like, here's my thing. If you believe that your friend has a drinking problem, I'm all here for you saying that. But to say that to someone that you clearly see has a issue with your friend, then why are you sitting here having a conversation with her about your friends drinking? Like, it ain't making no sense to me. Georgie says, respect. I get it. I was reduced down to YouTube clips for Potomac. Too toxic to watch fully, but I still have hope. But back to OC. Yeah. I when it comes to Potomac, I I don't even know if I have any sprinkle of hope for Potomac, because for me, as long as Giselle is still on that show, it's just a negative for me. It's a negative for me because she is the cancer to me. I know there are people out there that like Giselle for whatever reason y'all like that woman. There are people out there that like Giselle, but for me personally, I think that Giselle is a cancer to that show. As long as she's there, I don't want to. I just, for me, I don't want to participate. And you're right, it is way too toxic. But we'll see what the trailer for Potomac gives this upcoming season, and that'll determine if I watch or not. But as of right now, it's a hell no. But like I said, once the trailer comes out for Potomac, we'll see what is given. If I feel like I don't, if I feel like it's gonna be the same BS, then I'm throwing that back to the wind. But yeah, let's get back to OC. And I appreciate you again. Like I said, I appreciate you for coming, and I appreciate the comment. Uh, but Alexis, like I said, girl, I just don't, I just don't understand Alexis. Like, girl, you look ridiculous. Oh, you love Candace? I do like, I like Candace. I'm sad that Candace is not there. Who is Giselle? Exactly. Let's pretend like we don't even know who Giselle is. Ugh. Can't believe that the woman, Bravo would not get rid of her. I get that they love her for drama, but stale drama at that. Mm-mm-mm. Potomac. But yeah, I think that's all I got with Tamara. No, that's not all I got with Tamara. Like I was saying, Tamara, if you feel like your friend has an alcohol problem and is an alcoholic, I'm not going to sit here and talk to someone who is starting issues with my friend for no apparent reason other than a man. Like Alexis ain't said nothing that Shannon has done to her. It is all about Johnny J. Nothing that she's done to you personally. But see, when Shannon talked to you, Shannon told you she had an issue with you because your ex-husband sued her. Shannon had something other than John. You have nothing other than John. God, I really wish they had kept Alexis. I'm starting to think that this was deliberate. Not Shannon, but Johnny J and Alexis getting together. I feel like this was an attempt for her to make it back on the show, and it worked. And he's giving Slade Smiley, like I said previously. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up the episode, you guys. Gina, Gina, Gina. My God, today, girlfriend, that new interview look of you. What in the hell was that? It was atrocious. I almost threw up when I saw it. Like I literally almost threw up when I saw that look of Gina's. I'm trying to see if I can find it, you guys, because it is horrible. It's ugly. But we see Gina. So Gina is meeting up with Katie, right? So Katie is basically letting Gina know how she felt about the golf event and the situation with Heather, and how she felt as if Gina took Heather's side and she wasn't, not impartial. She didn't, because she didn't use the word impartial. She used the word. What word did she use? What, she didn't feel like she was neutral in the situation with Heather. And Gina's like, but I told you not to say it. And it's like, okay, Gina, girl, goodbye. I want this to be Gina's last season. I really do. Also, Gina was talking about how she and Travis are trying to figure out their new normal and that they're very much so committed to making things work. Okay, Gina, go straight to hell. I'm sick of you and this storyline already. Well, hello. Hello, greetings from the Netherlands. Oh my God, the Netherlands. This is the first time that I've saw anybody that is not in the US in my comments or in my live. So I really appreciate you for coming on to the channel. Thank you for coming through, and I hope you're having a great day. But so Gina. Like I said a few minutes ago, when it comes to Gina with the Heather situation, I do believe that Gina. I don't think that Gina is afraid of Heather. or maybe she could be, right? Maybe it, because I know when she first, when, like I said, when Heather first came back, I felt like Gina was trying to, you know, hitch her wagon to Heather because of who she is, fancy pants, money, and all this kind of stuff, and the connections. And I still think that that's what it is when it comes to Gina. But Gina, you could have been neutral. But then she's like, "Well, Heather would have got mad." That's again. I think you're. I think you're a little bit afraid of Heather. For what reason? Again, I don't know. I do not know. But she told her she wasn't going to be neutral. I was like, but see, I feel like with Gina, like I said a few minutes ago, she it's something that she's not. It's something that she's looking for from Heather. That's what I think it is, because she said that she wasn't going to be neutral, but you can easily be neutral and she not get mad. But you know what? Gina is a never mind. Is it telly shit? I love it. You're like, I'm like, when is Gina? I'm like, when is Gina organizing a? Oh God, why would they let Gina organize an event? And all the seasons she's on the show, she's never had one. Is it because she's poor? I was actually thinking that. I literally was. When Gina said that she was throwing an event, I was like, Gina is throwing an event. The woman who is literally sitting here on this show telling us that she nor Travis could afford another to live together, so you're living separately. Gina, goodbye. Again, like I say, let this be Gina's last season. I really need this to be Gina's last season. I really, really want this to be Gina. And the interesting thing is, when Gina first came on, I actually liked Gina because Gina was, relatable. But then when you think about housewives, you don't really want a relatable housewife. This is escapism, and you want to live vicariously through these women. I don't want to look at Gina and be like, damn, that's damn near my life, which it ain't, but damn near, but it ain't. So, Gina, I want you to have a backbone when it comes to Heather. That's all I want you to do is have a backbone. So then we see Gina having this event with all the girls. So Shannon and Vicki were in the car with each other, right? And Shannon was talking about how she's not ecstatic to sit in the same room with Alexis and with Tamara. And I absolutely understand it. And I get it. If you're supposed to be, and this is about Tamara, if you're supposed to be my quote unquote best friend, and you're aligning yourself with, again, a woman who is coming after me because of my ex-boyfriend who is her current boyfriend, that is the only thing that Alexis Bellino has. Nothing else, because she has not said that Shannon has done this to me, Shannon did this to me, Shannon did that. It's all about John and what John is feeding to Alexis to say on camera. Notice we ain't really saw John on camera. Have we saw John on camera this season? I don't think we have. We've just heard John's name. Thirsty ass, just as bad as Slade, right? So then Alexis decides that she wants to ask Katie at the table, well, why didn't you invite me to your golf event? And I'm glad that Katie didn't back down to her. Katie said, well, hell, I'm becoming friends with with Shannon, and I just wanted Shannon to have a stress-free day. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it, right? I think we all appreciate it, because I feel like had Alexis came to that golf event, she would have beelined straight for Shannon. She would have beelined for Shannon almost the way she did in this episode. Because as soon as Shannon and Vicki got there, now she threw some shade at Vicki, talking about welcome to my you're in my world now, or something, or look who's in my world, right? And they showed the flashback of Vicki saying, welcome to my world. And Vicki was like, sit down, bitch. I did laugh when Vicki told her to sit down, bitch. I found that funny. Now, Vicky, Vicky. Let me see how I want to address approach this conversation, because Vicky is over here telling Shannon that she can have a drink, right? And I agree with Tamara on one thing. I absolutely do believe, as much as I love Shannon, I do believe that Shannon has a drinking problem. I do believe that she has a drinking problem. And Vicky saying that she can have a drink, I felt like that was a enabling her, right? Now Vicky is saying, well, she's not driving. I get that, Vicky, but maybe, and here's the thing, maybe Vicky doesn't think that Shannon has a drinking problem. Maybe she doesn't. So I can't really say she's wrong. But again, outside looking in, I do think that Shannon has an issue with drinking, especially when she said that she got so mad at John that she was drinking and she drove to show him. That sounds like a problem. And again, I love Shannon, but that's a problem, mama. That's a problem. Telisha says Gina has no backbone. She doesn't even have a complete skeleton. Oh, that is hilarious. You also say I love Vicky, and I when it comes to Vicky and her antics, I love Vicky and her antics. Vicky is batshit crazy, but I do be here for Vicky. You also say I would have a drinking problem too when I join their group of women. Yeah, cause they are a lot. Queen Hermit says Vicky knows she has a drinking problem, but Vicky is enabling Shannon for Vicky's financial and fame game. I can see that. I can absolutely see that because Vicky is not a full-time housewife anymore, and her way on the show is through Shannon as her friend. So I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. But then we have on the flip side Tamra. Tamara is at this table talking cash money shit to Shannon about her drinking. Granted, like I said, I agree with Tamara. I absolutely agree with Tamara that Shannon has a drinking problem, but this is not the way that you go about someone having alcoholism. You do not berate them. You do not talk down to them. You do not do any of that stuff. You come to them with love and compassion because this is someone that you care about. Like you would do it, and this is how you would do an intervention. You would sit down with them and not beat up on them. But here Tamara is beating up on Shannon. And honestly, I've said this plenty of times before. I feel like the reason that Tamara does this shit is still doing this shit to Shannon. I still feel like Tamara is still pissed about being fired from this show, and Shannon continued on with the show. I really feel like that's what it is with Tamara. You guys can agree or disagree, but I still think that that's what Tamara's issue is. Tamara is still mad that when she got fired, they kept Shannon on, and Shannon, I mean, what could Shannon do? You got fired, like, and so I think that everything that Tamara does is just retaliation because yes, this is your friend, but if you cared about your friend so much and you think that she has a drinking problem, you're not going to sit over here with somebody like Alexis who has an issue with her for no damn reason. And then, you up here at this table in front of all these women putting her down. And then you talking about John Jansen. Let's be real. How many of y'all none of y'all liked John when she was with him, but now that he's moved on to Alexis, Tamara, you're so in love with him. Tamara missed me with the BS. Like, I cannot stand Tamara. I can't stand Tamara. Queen Herman says, I love Vicky, but she's known Shannon a long time and she knows she has a problem. I agree with that. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Queen Herman says, yes, I agree. Yes, agree. Tamrat, absolutely. Like Tamara gets on my nerves. And again, like I said, Tamara is good for the show. I'm not gonna take that away from Tamara. She is good for the drama. But this stuff that you're doing to Shannon, this is I'm about to say something that's gonna be ugly, but it's gonna be the truth. This is why your kids don't fuck with you. This is particularly why your kids your kids don't deal with you. Like, except for the one that we saw in this episode in a previous episode. But your son that's MAGA, He stopped. I mean, oh God. Then your daughter, like this is why people don't rock with you, Tamara. You're fake as hell. And it's all for the sake of a show. I would never throw away my friendships for the sake of reality TV, but some people chase fame, and that's what Tamara's doing. She's chasing fame, and that's how I feel about Tamara. Queen Herman says even their daughter seemed like she was annoyed with Tamara. I think she was, especially when she brought up the other daughter. She was definitely annoyed with Tamara. Like Tamara will throw anybody under the bus that she has to. So then Alexis, Mama, you should have really sat there and just sat there, ate your food, and shut the hell up because once again, you look desperate, pathetic, and thirsty. So you want to sit here and talk about, oh, well, John gave Shannon $70,000. It was a loan. It was a loan for her facelift, and he just sent her money for this because she needed it. They were in a relationship. If she didn't sign a contract saying that it was a loan that she had to repay it, it was a gift. So, John, sit your thirsty ass over there and sit down somewhere. Like I can't, and that, like I said earlier in the review, Alexis, look in the mirror, girl, at yourself, and look at I'm not Tim, but Shannon. The same thing that John is doing to her, girl. If he breaks up with you today, I'm pretty sure he's going to do the exact same thing to you. He's going to do the exact same thing to you. Probably 10 times worse because one, you're a friend of, you're not even a housewife this season, you're a friend of. So he's gonna make you look like a colossal joke, and I can't stand it. I'm so over Alexis. Television says I feel like Tamara doesn't know how to be a friend in life. I don't either. um some American song. Okay, I love it. Because I love watching American reality series. Really? I do see that a lot of people love watching our reality TV shows. I've never watched reality shows from different countries, not like that. I've watched some, but I think I know a lot of people like American reality TV. Is it because it's so trash? Oh my God, Alexis needs one. He should send her the money. Like maybe Alexis should give him the $70,000 since she's so in love with Johnny J, and she's talking about my man. Girl, so you one of them, my man, my man, my man. Alexis, you made yourself look like a joke. You really made yourself look like a joke. And I was here for Vicki. When Vicki asked her, why are you so involved? And then Alexis like, but you're just listening to what Shannon told you. You're listening to what Shannon told you. Okay. What are you talking about, mama? Like, girl, you look delusional. Again, all of this behind a man that you ain't even known but a few months. Alexis, if you were hoping that by doing all this stuff that this would get you your orange back, girl, it fell flat. Hang it up. You say Traders is such a Dutch television show. We sold it to the US, even the voice is Dutch. Oh, really? I did not know that. That I didn't know. And I love Traders. It's such a good show. I've gotten into it. I do want to watch some of the other countries' versions of Traders that's on Peacock, but I did not know that. Okay, you getting me hip to some stuff. Okay, I love it. But yeah, you guys, that is really all we had with this episode. To sum it up in a bow, Gina, I don't know why you threw this event. It was a waste of time. Shannon, I'm on your side, baby girl. Tamara, you're fake as fuck. Alexis, you're desperate and thirsty as hell. And that is all I gotta say. I appreciate everybody who stopped by and was in the live chat with me. So I do this every Friday for the Real Housewives of Orange County. I typically do it around the same time, about 1 o'clock Central Time in the US. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who came through, and I hope you guys stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, like the videos, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and weekend, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much, Queen Hermit. I appreciate you coming through, and I hope you have a great weekend too. And I'm out, you guys. Bye, y'all.